All right, let's get into the market itself. You recently described it as a trendless chop. Explain what that means in terms of what's happening right now.
Yeah, so this first section is actually written by our equity analyst, Blake Davis. I think he always does a great job, but I think he's generally just talking about broader markets, not really seeing any trend. I'll do that like moving averages or just price structure in general. Just kind of just seeing like, as he said, trendless chop. I think that's also pretty true for Bitcoin as well, but definitely with all kind of the macro uncertainty, and we've got everything going on with like Russia and Ukraine. I think that's kind of translating into price action and TradFi. But yeah, that's definitely not my area of expertise. So you'd have to ask Blake exactly what he meant there.
And do you think that is the same thing for Bitcoin as like the broader market right now?
In what sense? You're saying like the trendlessness? Or
the trendless chop.
Yeah, I think we've been in a downtrend for 3 months, and as we get further into this, I'll highlight a couple levels that I think we kind of need to get back above to definitively say that we've kind of broken out of this downtrend. We've seen some promising behavior over the last like 2 weeks, but I still think we need to get back above 47K. That's kind of my line in the sand from like a high time frame perspective. I think there's a lot of confluence there, albeit that with on-chain as well as price structure, that if we can reclaim that, I think we've regained momentum. So like I think there's in this market there's like value buyers and there's momentum buyers, and this is a mental framework that I stole from Avi Feldman at Block Tower, but I really like it, and I think value is kind of in the low 30s and momentum is getting back above that 47K area, and so for people that are, kind of just looking to get in the market on like high time frame momentum, I think that's kind of the area that you should be watching.
Makes sense. I saw that you were tweeting about, and you included in the newsletter, hash rate and just kind of the explosive recovery of hash rate. Talk to me about why is that so telling to you?
Yeah, I think, it's really incredible. This is one of the, I think, biggest accomplishments of the Bitcoin network. In recent history, but maybe in all of its history. The reason is because you had one of the, largest global superpowers being China banning Bitcoin mining. We saw a massive exodus of hash rate coming off the network, as you can see in the chart between May and July. During that time, I think this is actually, a fundamentally bullish event in the moment, because now all of a sudden you have all this hash that's moving out of China. And that was one of the big, FUDs, if you will, that you would hear from people. Oh, all the mining, hash power is concentrated in China. So now that, that argument is gone. And with that as well, over the last few months, we've seen a complete recovery of that hash coming back online. And what this basically means is that all these machines have been migrated across the world in a completely decentralized way, both the physical and human capital around the world, and replugged in. And just, in several months, we've seen that not only come back to where it was prior to the drop, but actually we've seen this continue to ramp up over the last few weeks. We've seen a really aggressive move up in hash. And here at Blockware, we continue to be very bullish on hash. We think over the next year, we'll continue to see this trend as more just entities in general continue to be interested in getting involved with Bitcoin mining. I think, again, it just kind of goes to show, the resiliency of the Bitcoin network. And currently the network's more secure than ever as hash continues to grind up.
Yeah. Talk to me about the kind of derivatives market. Obviously, there's been a lot of activity there as we go sideways that looks like it's kind of lining up with a lot of the price movements.
Yeah, so on screen, I think we have the Bitcoin price chart with the perpetual basis indicator below. So first, we could just like talk about price briefly. So again, I think kind of the low 30s are a value area for BTC. I think 47K is that area that BTC needs to reclaim to kind of establish momentum, especially from a high time frame perspective. These are some of just the 4 kind of major price levels that I think we've got for Bitcoin on a daily level. I think we're currently sitting at an important kind of pivot level. If we go back and look at where 40 to 41K. We've seen a lot of kind of reaction from price from that throughout the last year. So that basically defined the whole summer range. We bounced off that at the end of September, bounced off that in January before finally breaking through. And as well, recently we've seen some reaction over the last day or two with this price area. I think if Bitcoin can flip this 39 to 40 area, then you're probably looking at continuation back up to 47 at a minimum. If we get back below that, well, then once below, then 40K becomes expensive. So I think if you start closing below 40, you probably see BTC retrace back to these local lows. But for the next day or so, I'm just kind of watching to see this reaction in this area. I think, if it can hold, then that's quite bullish. Probably see a, move back up to 47K. If we start closing below, probably see a retracement back to those local lows. So, with this stuff, it's always probabilities. It's always speaking in if then statements, right? No one knows exactly what's going to happen. We just identify the setups and we set up, probabilistic statements based on that information. And so with that being said, again, I think if we can hold this area, see continuation to 47K, if we start closing below the 40K area, I think we probably see a retracement back to those local lows.
Hey, you, did you like this video? Great. We make 5 of them a day and post them here on this channel. Make sure you're subscribed, like the video, and see you next time.